Ansary speaking. It is April 5th, 2024. We are coming up on another eclipse, and the question is, has your consciousness evolved from where it was in 2017? I'll tell you, I feel like my consciousness has changed since that time, but my general information and understanding of things is the same. It's just more evolved. And now I'm spending more time doing writing, and so we are here to talk about the algorithm. All right, so a lot of truthers today, a lot of self-described woke people are totally naive to the conspiracy truth. Okay? Again, a lot of conspiracy theorists are awake to basic conspiracy truths. This is going to be a short video, then I'm going to go grab lunch and continue my multi-hour, all day long typing from a handwritten journal about the paranormal influence over our world and surviving the archons. But a lot of people don't understand the shadow banning that I've experienced. And when people see me and they act like they're aware of conspiracies, they may actually ask naive questions like, what's your view count? And some people ask naive questions like, how much money do you make? Or in the beginning, when people met me in Portland, they would ask me how much money I made. As if that's what this is about, how much money I make. It's not really about the money. It never really was about the money. Money's needed so I can eat and put gas in my car and make sure that my car continues to have insurance and that I can buy medical cannabis. But I don't have enough for my own off-grid land right now or where I'd like to be. So I live within my means, which is poverty, which is without health insurance. And I know I'm competent to do certain jobs in this world if I was given a chance, but due to mistakes I've made and other things, and the fact that I'm basically seen as unemployable, but not having a stable work history that employers like, I've suffered. And so you may not understand why I get angry with you when you don't share my content. Because the reality is, folks, in the old days, in the 16th, basically your parents' parents, or your parents, one or the other, depending on how young you are. They used to, and they came across folks like me, remember their name, and they never depended on an algorithm to tell them when they uploaded. They knew their name, their number, their P.O. box, whatever, if they were following their content, where to get their books. It wouldn't be based on what AI thought about that person. Do you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying, right? So a lot of you folks, you're supposedly anti-New World Order, but you wait for AI and the machine to tell you when it's my birthday, if you're on Facebook. And I'm just here to tell you, like a big brother, that's not conscious at all. You're not going to defeat the New World Order with that attitude. Do you plan to defend your wife and children with that brain? I mean, just think this through. A lot of you wait, and this is why you have to get on the newsletter, and thank you for those of you that did, but I should have known this was coming years ago. So, update. I got a memo from Twitter basically saying they're not happy with me. Didn't really elaborate why or what I did wrong. It didn't show me what I did wrong. It just basically said that it was going to be limiting my posts, but my posts already were limited hardcore. So it's kind of like a bad joke. I did say at that moment in time, right before I got the memo from Twitter, that I did say that some people hate the light. In reference to someone that was going, I think, a little bit too conspiracy with the fact there was a lightning bolt that hit somewhere in Manhattan, and already it's a conspiracy theory, you see? It's a conspiracy. So, I don't see everything as a conspiracy. And anyway, I've talked a lot about the dark side of X recently. And I've called out and I've tagged Alex Jones and Clyde Lewis. And I have lots of conspiracy theories, as you know, about Alex Jones. But just because I deal with shadow banning doesn't mean that he picked up the phone call himself and made a friggin' phone call. Although sometimes I've really wondered, to be honest with you. I've dealt with some weird stuff concerning, organizations in which they're already connected with Mr. Jones. and then basically kicking me to the curb. What I'm basically trying to tell you, well, lots of things. But basically, in order for you to move forward with the eclipse and this new information and the new challenges and the new possessions that are coming, meaning people are going to be programmed by AI to censor you, is that you need to think outside the box. And if you care about programs like mine, that you like manually remember where to go if you're the consumer, first of all, so you don't lose track of me. You have to at least remember the name Alex Ansary, period. If you can't even do that, there's no hope for you. Okay, so that's step one. And then using Google to, like some people were able to figure out that I was back. But I also noticed in 2023, around October, by that point in time, once I was back in black, like the song says, lots of people that were previously looking for me were already moved on. What do you think I interpret from that? I was waiting for an energy shift to kind of move certain people out of my space. Audience members. Audience members that are refusing to come to the higher light, that are stuck in conspiracy theory rather than conspiracy realism. You know what I mean. People that are stuck in the paradigm, the left-right paradigm. People that want the old Alex Ansary, who had aspects to his psyche that were a little bit more feminized. Nothing wrong with being in touch with your masculine and feminine. I still am. It's just that I know I have to not be so soft with people that are going to be knowingly ignorant, and basically be a little bit more honest about what I think about some of the rude comments. So we're going to try to keep this under 15. It's not narcissism, folks, to call out the algorithm and to ask people for help in getting the word out. To expect the algorithm by itself to do the job for you like some sort of dark archon magic from Dark City isn't anarcho-capital. It isn't anarchist. Isn't none of that, in my opinion. I look down upon people that act like they're anarcho or awake and they become part of the tax system and becoming what they said they were evolving beyond. There's a lot of Johnny-come-latelys that act like they woke up with a Tea Party, like the G-Man and others, that didn't really wake up, in my opinion. And then I made another video about this, but when the solar cycle ramped up also around 2022 and 2023, I experienced extreme emotion and told my mom, some things that she didn't want to hear. But basically that I did not consent to this, reincarnation time loop involving her, or period. Drew Barrymore, apparently, though, had more of a deeper statement for her mother. She wished her mother was dead. I wouldn't say that, but what's the commonality here? Drew Barrymore had unresolved child abuse, abandonment, and other issues from her childhood, and so do I. So something came up energetically for us in 2022 and 23. We got to purge out that stuff, and I need to write a book now about everything that's in my childhood that I can remember without going too far and knowingly trying to hurt anyone, and not letting my mom's years and years of saying to me in attempted mind control, I'm your mother, I control you, I'm correcting you. Oh boy, if you talk about me, you really can hurt me. Oh, you really can do this. Oh, you really could hurt me. So she set me up to fear ever coming to you about what she did to me. My mother deliberately set me up and said, you're not authorized to tell the world about me. And I find that sad, Mom, because you know what? In my opinion, you should be telling all your friends that you meet in New Orleans and where you are and the places that you traveled around the world, and the East Coast and West Coast, who I am, and the content of my books, and how I'm accurate, and way more accurate than George Norrie, Alex Jones, and Lewis. And you should want to do that yourself. I shouldn't have to say anything. I shouldn't have to say a word. Period. I'm talking about like random people in the street. You should be like telling random people in the street that you see that are conscious, hey, this guy. So, the reason there's conflicts around solar flares and maximum is because people do say things that need to be said. So there's emotion. And then there's people getting angry. And then there's backlash against the people that are speaking their truth. So there's heightened emotions. And then there are basically wars over... here's another thing I got to mention. There's basically wars over people speaking their truth. Now here's another. Portland, Oregon, and I was thinking maybe I should just talk about Portland, Oregon all the friggin' time. I made a poll and basically create a few options. One is, so you want the devil after you? Like, what's the deal? Yeah, maybe not. But I feel like I need to talk just regarding Portland and nothing else, too, in some shows. How about that? How about we do some specials? So there's a situation there. Let's take a look again. where they're going to criminalize the drugs again. So many people of color that were duped in moving to Portland thinking that it was progressive and anti-racist and rising above institutional white supremacy. They're actually, the white folks in charge of Oregon, basically, that pretended to be anti-racist are going to go back to the police state. All right? And so more information is going to be available on that as it becomes available.